Alright guys, welcome to the casting couch. We are talking about 4.5 ways to boost your 5 ways to boost your engine. And we have gone through 3 videos. This is number 4 and I can do 4 like this. So we have gone through sequential, single and compound turbos. Today we're going to talk about variable nozzle technology, or VNT. They can be called VTG, blah blah, whatever. It's the same shit. So VNT, variable turbine housing size, more or less. That's what we're going to talk about today. So VNT turbos are quite interesting because they are normally single turbos, and I don't really know many setups where they use more than one. I know one, and I will talk about this in a moment, but it's not that much. Normally everything that is more than one turbo is a normal turbo, and not a turbo with variable nozzle technology. So it's a single turbo setup, but the trade-off is a little bit different. If you want to know the trade-offs of single turbo, you can watch my video about single turbos. So VNT turbos, they can adjust the size of your turbine side, and it is actually just half of the turbo. This is I should have prepared. This is a recurring thing in my videos, but yeah, a turbo has a hot side and a cold side, and if you are filling with one of them, you're only filling with half the turbo. The thing is that if you have a big large compressor wheel, you will have interior, and that means rotational drag because of weight and so on. So it is a little bit of a trade-off, because if you could put a very big turbo with a VNT turbine side on your engine, you wouldn't have to trade off if the compressor side was just adjustable as well, but it is not. So you can't really do like big turbo and believe it to work as a small turbo would. So it is a trade-off as well. The problem with VNT is, if we're going to take the pros and the cons. So the pros is, we start in the happy end, so we can end it negatively, right? That's always the best. So fucking stupid. I should start with the negative, so we end it on a positive note, but that's no fun. So what is good with VNT turbos? There are a lot of really modern VNT turbos, really, and the names is like crazy. VQL, it's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna offend you now, but it's like the letters of the gay community. It's so it's like HBQT, blah blah blah, and all of these letters stand for something. It's like billet compressor, ball bearing, extended tip technology, Inconel turbine wheel, blah blah blah. Like, this is a lot of letters, and that is good because the turbo manufacturers and the car manufacturers or engine manufacturers want to progress and make something that is better, and this is good because like single turbos normal without the VNT technology is used so little. It's more or less only off the market, and I mean there are progresses happening, but it's like poco a poco. It's just one step at a time. But the VNTs, they are used in so many vehicles that it just have to progress. And that is good. That is the number one pro of this. One thing though that they really can't solve is that they don't have an adjustable compressor side, first of all. But second of all is the flow on the turbine side. The trade-off is really, you can adjust the turbine side with the nozzles, but you can never take the nozzles away, and that will always restrict your turbine side, and that is a problem. There are not many petrol cars that use VNT turbos. There are, from my knowledge, and I don't know everything, so you can write it in the comments if you know something I don't know, is Porsche. And Porsche uses this on the 997.2 and forward turbo cars, 997.2, 991, 992, and so on. And so they're flat sixes, 3.468 liters, something like that, depending on model and so on. And maybe it's also in the new Caymans, and yeah, it doesn't fucking matter, who cares. But Porsche uses VNT turbos on their petrol cars, and these petrol cars rev a lot, and it works amazingly well for them. But they are combining this with a wastegate, and if we're going to take a little bit of diesel petrol tech here fast, because we're at 7 minutes, but if you're interested to hear, it's like this. If you have a ginormous turbine housing on your turbo, and you have VNT technology, so you can squeeze this down a little bit. When the petrol engine boosts, when that hits boost, you can just fully open. It doesn't matter the size of the turbine housing. When you have boost, and you will maintain that boost. On a diesel car or engine, it doesn't work like that. And this is why the petrol cars need a wastegate and the diesel cars not. And this is why Porsche need a wastegate with a VNT turbo, because when you have boost, it will just crazy boost. It will not go down. It will just skenladda, we call it in Swedish. It will just make lunatic amounts of boost. So you need to bleed that off and calm the turbine side down, because that's what you do with a wastegate. You open that to release the pressure on the turbine side, so you calm it down. And the wastegate, of course, is not like open. It doesn't work like that. It's just like this. It's just bleeding off, and just keeping that turbine shaft speed at bay. On a VNT turbo, you open up this ginormous turbine side, and the boost just drops. You have nothing. So that's why you don't have a wastegate on diesel, because the vanes is just adjusting the turbine house sizing and controlling the boost in that way. If you're running a single turbo, you have a lot bigger turbine housing. You have the correct turbine housing from the beginning. So that's why you have a lot later boost than you have with a VNT. So you can just, it's like you open the vanes fully, and the single turbo still flows a lot more. So because you can't just take the vanes off. If you had a button in your car, so when it was fully open, you had this flashing light, and you push the button, and the veins just went out the exhaust. That would be the best, because then you would have a lot less back pressure and whatnot. Doesn't work like that. That's the problem. So the good things with VNT is that it's really high tech in many cases. If you look at modern new cars turbos, and you want to use turbos from some Audi or BMW, that turbo will be very modern and very efficient. Audi is, I think, in the top here when it comes to, and Volkswagen, because it's valve. Doesn't matter. But it is very new, very efficient, very high tech if you're looking for that. It boosts really fast, and you can make decent power. What you can't do is rev. So if you have a camshaft that gives you maximum power at 5.5, if your turbo chokes at 4.5, you can't make maximum power. So it's like, I have 400 horsepower. Yeah, but you're killing your engine, because it need to breathe past 5.5. So if maximum power is at 5.5, you know that you have to rev 6. It doesn't work any other way. So the negative of the VNT is it does not flow well enough. That means you can't rev. There are turbos on the market, VNTs, that are big and efficient. I think Borg Warner has 1 or 2 models, and Garrett has a model or 2. And you can use those, but those are a little bit more uncommon. If you don't find a good deal, it will cost you quite a lot of money. VNT turbos, really cool, because you can adjust the size of your turbine side, and we all want to do that. Someday maybe they will make something to adjust the compressor side, but that's more hard, because you can't just change the AR of your compressor side, because that doesn't help you. You need to change the entire physical size and weight of your compressor wheel. So maybe if you built something that is staged, I don't know, this is so stupid, so it will never be done, but you can have 3 sizes of compressor wheels, of course, and then you can engage and disengage those, and you have to have 3 compressor houses and so on. That would be an amazingly cool technology if they make that happen, but and it will be really efficient, but it will never happen, because the turbo will be this big, and that is very big. Yeah, 13 minutes of VNT turbos. I don't know if I said anything about VNT, actually. Variable nozzle technology. I don't know. I have to watch the video myself and see if I can air it. I think it's good on some engines. Common rail engines are made for VNTs, so they rev the revs they need to rev for. They have a camshaft profile to support the VNT turbo technology. That's what it is. If you don't know what that means, I can make another video about that. So, 14 minutes. I love you all, and next episode will be number 5 and last of Turbo Tech. So we have to find something else to talk about, right?